top year one quarterbacks in the Southeastern Conference. Some fresh faces. You already know Quinn Ewers. You know what you're getting into Carson Beck. You know Jalen Milroe. But what about these guys that we've never seen be a starting quarterback for the entirety of a season just yet? We've got a lot of them, a lot of high-profile names. Actually, I want us to get to right now. We'll go 5 to 1. We'll start with number 5. Lenoris Sellers still has to win the job. Dante Reno is a high-profile quarterback recruit that is going to work to compete for that job here in spring camp. Full transparency, I expect it to be Lenoris Sellers when this whole thing kicks off. That's a big boy now. That's a very, very big boy from the 2023 class. Our comp for him was Jalen Hurts. I should tell you how highly we think of his skill set. Charles Power actually went so far as to say that he thought Lenoris Sellers was a more refined passer than Jalen Hurts was at that point in the cycle. He is 6'3", 245 pounds, y'all. Good luck to your local linebacker having to tackle him on quarterback power. Good luck whenever he breaks contain, he gets downhill. Tons and tons of ability. Again, he still has to win the job, but I think Lenoris Sellers has a chance to do some really good things at South Carolina, just purely based off his ability alone. Also, if you're seeing this right now live, look at the rec specs, baby. Anybody that wears rec specs, you're goated. All right? Kareem Abdul-Jabbar wore rec specs. Eric Dickerson wore rec specs. I'm just saying, Mount Rushmore rec specs, Lenoris Sellers. Put him up there. All right, at number 4, a guy that I'm going to refer to as BVG, but his legal name is Brock Vandagriff. I think he might have the highest boom factor of anybody on this list. And when I say boom factor, we've used that a couple of times on this show. That basically just means when we fast forward the tape, let's say a few months from now, we could see him shoot up this list. 5-star quarterback from the class of 2021. He was a top 5 quarterback in that class. Now, he transfers to Kentucky by way of playing quarterback at Georgia. The folks in Athens now, when that whole battle was going on behind closed doors during spring football, before the spring game when Carson Beck kind of more or less won that thing, there was a lot of buzz around Brock Vandagriff. They were saying, hey, it's back and forth. Hey, the coaches like Brock Vandagriff. They like his toughness. They like what he does running the football for them. Hey, this is a ball player now. I don't know if he's going to win the job, but this is a ball player for you now. He made it tough on that staff, I believe, for the majority of spring and even at parts of fall camp. Tons of weapons at Kentucky. Another reason I really like him in 2024. You got Dane Key. You got Barry and Brown, who's lightning in a bottle. If you're able to distribute the football correctly in this offense, you will score a lot of points. I understand Liam Cohen's gone. Brock Vandagriff, his skill set and the talent they have in Kentucky, the talent they have on this offense, the weapons, I think good things are set to happen in Kentucky. Just because you didn't play at Georgia doesn't mean you can't still freaking sling it. So Brock Vandagriff, number 4 for us on our fresh faces list for quarterbacks in the SEC. Now, not just a fresh face, but a fresh team to the SEC in Oklahoma. Jackson Arnold, baby. Interesting thing about Jackson Arnold here. Top 5 quarterback in 2023. 5-star plus kind of cat. Everybody and their mama knew what they saw when they saw Jackson Arnold. He's a 5-star player. If Oklahoma didn't feel like Jackson Arnold was going to be great, they would not have allowed Dylan Gabriel to walk out that door and go to Oregon. That's just the fact of the matter. You saw the ability in that bowl game. You also saw a lot of turnovers. I think if he's able to put it together, he has a chance to have a ton of success in year 1 at Oklahoma. Now, the SEC will be tough, but I'm just going back to the bowl game like, yes, you saw him make some poor decisions. You saw him make throws late where you can't make throws late in college football and end up being interceptions. But, like, I also saw him running left, have to get his hips around, throw to the back corner of the end zone with someone getting after him, having to avoid the rush and just throw a dime rock. I also saw him drop a 60-yard bomb to his guy in stride for a touchdown. So as much as there was some things that made you say, don't love that, I chalk that up to being a true freshman. I think when he gets a full offseason under his belt, he has too much ability to not be a big-time player in the SEC. So he's number 3 on our list. Now at number 2, y'all hear that? We got some construction going on here around the On3 headquarters, but it's not the construction. It's the Nuss Bus. The Nuss Bus is coming full steam in Baton Rouge. Garrett Nussmeier, man, we've seen the preview now. We've seen the preview. We've seen him sparingly at LSU. Now you get to see the movie. Garrett Nussmeier, man, tell you what, if he's guilty of anything, it's loving to sling that football downfield, man. That was kind of the knock on him at different points when he was battling for the job. When Jaden Daniels first got to LSU, was like, hey, this guy can throw the ball a quarter mile. The problem is he wants to throw the ball a quarter mile. It feels like every other play. Got some gunslinger to him. To be honest, man, I don't mind that. I definitely don't mind it when you got Kyron Lacey running downfield for you, C.J. Daniels by way of the portal was a 1,000-yard receiver at Liberty last year. He's at LSU this year. Garrett Nussmeier is going to sling the ball downfield to those guys. I think it's going to make for some good things happening. Joe Sloan taking over as the offensive coordinator in Baton Rouge with Mike Denbrock leaving for Notre Dame. I think the offense will look pretty similar to what it did a season ago. You may not see the same run-pass options on the perimeter that Jaden Daniels had. Garrett Nussmeier just not the same kind of player as Jaden Daniels is running the football, and that's not saying a lot. Jaden Daniels is kind of a one-of-one in that respect. Dude can sling it. I want to make sure that you leave this segment knowing that. Dude can sling it. 31 of 45 in the bowl game for 395 yards and 3 touchdowns. I think there was 1 pick in there against Wisconsin in the bowl game. If nothing else, he's going to push the ball downfield. I think it's going to be a lot more than nothing else. I think he's going to have a really good season for LSU, and I think you'll see that offense continue to churn at a really high level, score a lot of points. Now, at number 1, I believe the best quarterback, the best new quarterback in the Southeastern Conference, a name that a lot of folks are getting real familiar with saying in a real short amount of time, Nico Iamaleava, the quarterback for the Tennessee Volunteers. This guy was the number 1 player in the class of 2023. I'm not a scout, but I watch football with my own eyes, and I see this dude play ball, and I believe there's no ceiling for what he can be at Tennessee. Like, physically, I don't see any limitations for him pushing the ball downfield. I don't see any limitations for him when it comes to what he does when he tucks in and runs. I said this on a previous show. I'm going to say it again. We've seen what the Josh Heupel offense is supposed to look like. Okay, that was in 2022 when Hendon Hooker drove that thing like a NASCAR, and they scored north of 40 points. That's what Nico brings to the table. He brings that same ability. Now, do they have the weapons around him to score at that clip? We're going to find out. But I think with what he does running the football, it's a small sample size we saw in that bowl game, but those 3 rushing touchdowns, the way they called the offense for him against Iowa, which was a really stingy defense throughout the course of the year, that's going to put extra strain on the second level of a defense when you're worried about Nico and him having a little bit of RPO, check the screen, it's not there, okay, I'm going to tuck it and run and get north on a quarterback, inside zone or whatever it ends up being. Like, he's got that kind of ability when he gets in the open field to really hurt you. That's something you got to prep during the week at the least, and something that can make you pay on Saturdays at the worst for a defense. So Nico Iamaleava, the offense, the ability, the tools. We love Nico Iamaleava, if that wasn't clear enough. So to recap it for you, our top 5 year 1 quarterbacks in the SEC. This is a mix of projection and prediction and what we know about them right now. Lenora Sellers at 5 for South Carolina, 6'3", 245. Good luck tackling him on quarterback power. Kentucky's Brock Vandergrift, little BVG action. Just because you couldn't play at Georgia doesn't mean you can't be the dude at Kentucky and make a lot of good things happen. Jackson Arnold, number 3, 5-star plus player, expecting to do great things. Garrett Nussmeier, the Nuss Bus, moving full speed ahead in Baton Rouge, and then Nico Iamaleava at number 1 for us when it comes to the new quarterbacks in the SEC. Hey y'all, thanks so much for watching. Subscribe to the channel here to make sure you don't miss an episode of The Hard Count. Also be sure to check out other videos on the On3 YouTube channel.